You're with Gareth Finsell from Golf Business, and it's a pleasure to have with me here today Atif Rahman, the chairman and founder of Oro24 Developments. And Atif, you're here with us at your newest development, Torino. It's an amazing place to be, but before I get into that, as a founder and as an entrepreneur, have had an incredible journey. You've had 3 ventures that you've started from scratch.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what that journey has taught you and give our audience some insight into what that's been like?
Sure. First of all, Gareth, thanks for having me. And it's always lovely to catch up with you and have a conversation with you about real estate economy and everything. Yeah, there's actually three ventures in Dubai, and total this is the 5th one. So I had one in India as well, which I'd started. So yes, it has been great. It does feel quite accomplishing and satisfying. But at the same time, I think you don't stop evolving and you don't stop learning. So, I mean, when I look back, I always end up finding some or the other fault, or sometimes many faults in the previous ventures, what I could have done better, where I could have taken it to a different direction. So that's how it is. You just keep evolving and you keep learning. And when you're doing that, I think one of the most important things before you build any business is to have a framework for the vision. What is the organization? What is the business that you want to build? And it has to be pegged to a vision, right? And that has to be very, very clear in your mind. And I think the most important thing after vision is to have a bunch of people, set of people who would be willing to understand your vision and then execute it. Otherwise, I would just be sitting over there dreaming about my vision and nothing would happen, right?
On that Born in Dubai theme, we've got the crane going above us. The workmen here are extremely busy putting the final touches to this incredible development that you've got here, Torino.
Yeah.
It's in the heart of Arjan here in Dubai. Yeah. It's very centrally located to many top areas within the city. What was the vision and the thinking behind Torino? And why did you decide to choose this specific area for it as well?
It just so happened that I was fortunate to get the piece of land in Arjan. As a matter of fact, when you said it's so centrally located, I used to say the same thing 15 years ago and no one would believe me, right? And I still remember I was the first one building in Arjan back in 2007-8, and it didn't look as attractive a location as it does today. And that's why it's very important to invest in the future. If you want to have a fruitful investment in real estate, you got to identify which are the future locations and invest over there. You know how many 7,000 plus units over here across different projects. I think I've made about 12 or 14 projects in Arjan. I love this location. It's a boutique community, easy in, easy out. Like you said, very centrally located. And it just so happened that I was fortunate to get a piece of land in Arjan. Yes, the land was originally planned for something totally different. It was supposed to be 3 big, massive building blocks, but we could imagine and reinvent the kind of real estate that you can develop on this piece of land. And here you are, you're in a 6-building gated complex. It's very simple, you know, and then packaged with the absolute stunning lifestyle, include the elements of nature. That's what you would find over here. So like I said, I mean, the vision of Oro24 is to do disruptive real estate, human-sensitive real estate. We calibrate and look at our project and see what is the bandwidth of human life that it can impact. So like, for example, we care about the toddler or a newborn baby who would be living in Torino to an elderly person, right? So how do we meet the necessities and needs of the entire bandwidth of population that would be residing in Torino?
Just in terms of the key facts and figures around this particular development, can you run over some of those? For example, the number of units.
626 units spread across 6 buildings, gated complex, fully loaded with amenities. None of them are namesake or tiny amenities. So it includes squash courts and paddle courts and badminton and kids play, kids pool, lazy river, a sanctuary. We have a clubhouse, which we call the Pulse by Oro24, health club, fully fitted and equipped with top-notch equipments, cinema. You've got, I can just keep talking about it. You package it with amenities and, of course, nature.
So I think in the next part of the segment, I'm going to ask you about the broader market and your thoughts on where Dubai is going, but I think let's go and take a walk and check out what's happening. So Atif, here we are once again in the green belt that you've developed here.
Yeah.
And I guess like a green belt that goes through various changes, you've got some analogies around 3 key economic cycles that you've been through as it relates to the property market. And I know that you've got some interesting metaphors around fireworks and even the human body, right?
Economic boom is like a firework, you know. It looks the best at the tipping point, right? And then it dies down. And that's how it has to happen. And then the next one goes up, right? It's a very natural outcome, right? And any economy has to go through the cycle. Because if you do not go through the cycle, just imagine what would happen to inflation, for example. You know, I mean, it would go out of the roof, right? And probably things would not be affordable anymore, right? There's an equilibrium that, happens whenever there is a market correction. And a strong economy and a strong government would always welcome and embrace the correction because it's a natural part of, and it's inevitable. It's a natural part of any economy, right? So I think that's what I think about correction. And till the time there is strength in governance, in policy, in infrastructure, both soft and hard, I think there's resilience, you know, in how we handle the correction. I think we're just perfectly fine. And I've gone through 3 cycles, like you said, and I never faced a dramatically tough situation. It was just business as usual. In fact, on the contrary, people think boom time is not tough. Actually, it can present far greater challenges in comparison to the correction.
Yeah.
Right? Like I said, you know, just imagine about a project which is fully sold out during the boom time, right? So the good thing is your top line's locked. But the downside, if there's any design issue, cost inflation, project can go for a toss. There's so many challenges you can come across. So, I mean, challenge, whether it's a boom time or correction, I think it's very important that we remain resilient business. We have focus on governance mitigation, which is daily chapter, a daily matter that we have to look at. Like today, we talk about AI and technology and so many things. We are heavily invested in technology, but we also look at technology as risk, the kind of threat it can create in terms of cybersecurity and many things. It's one of those things that you got to embrace, remain resilient towards that. Yeah.
What is it about Dubai that keeps developers ticking over at this pace currently?
Dubai and UAE, it's a very unique country and it never stops evolving. I think that is what makes this place so desirable. You would continue to have new audience, right? You'd continue to have new people who want to call Dubai and UAE their home. If you factor that as one of the primary reason, and the second is the global adversaries. So I think one side you have constantly depleting and depreciating economies. On the other side, you have a country which is constantly upgrading, evolving, and becoming a more favorable and better place to live in.
Atif, it's lovely walking here through your property here. It's got these incredible landscape gardens. Yeah. But walking here, you tend to think about what has happened over the last 4 or 5 years in the economy.
Yeah.
We've had huge changes from the onset of COVID-19, which everybody thought would change the property sector altogether. But that didn't quite work out, has it? We've gone back to normal, and if anything, we're now in a roaring 20s phase, it seems.
Oh, yeah. Actually, you just reminded me of a question. You know, during the peak of the lockdown, I was attending a conference. I was, in fact, one of the speakers. And I think if I recall it correctly, I was the only one who said nothing would change. And while everyone thought that the manner in which real estate is done will change, the design of real estate will change. And my thought behind what was happening is that man is a social animal, right? And, when people said, work from home will be the new norm and all that stuff, I said, no, it's not going to happen. Because you got to go out there, meet people, and spend time in the outdoors, socializing while you're working as well, and see what is happening across the world, right? People are being asked to go back to their offices, right? Because that's where you can nurture ideas and socialize while you're working, right? The real estate aspect of it, I think, will pretty much remain the same. Yes, the design element, how it looks and how it is presented, the color theme, the use of material will change. I don't know why. I've been asked the question about sustainability all my life, and I always said that there's lack of awareness. But I think we're reaching that tipping point where every stakeholder now is becoming more and more serious because you can see the impact of global warming and many things, changing climate conditions. And now, obviously, we call it climate action. There was COP28 that happened over here. And I think the focus on sustainability will increase. So the kind of material that we're using, for example, I think will become more sustainable. It'll be more attractive in terms of design proposition. But the fundamental of real estate, if it's a residential building, it is meant for people to come and live, not just reside over there, not just box them inside an apartment, right? You've got to create properties where people can live their life, they can thrive, they can grow, right? Same when you look at workspaces, I think a place where people can go and enjoy working, right? So I think that element of real estate will change. Otherwise, the fundamentals will remain the same with greater focus on use of technology and sustainability.
And where we're standing right now is a beautiful playground.
Yeah.
I'd love to know the story about the material behind it as well. I believe it's from Poland.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, we got this from Poland. And obviously, a lot of places I've seen, my kids are teenagers now. So I've seen them go to playgrounds and you'll see metal bars. So these are all made in real wood, right? So even in, say, hot conditions, it would not heat up and become dangerous to hold on to or uncomfortable to hold on to. So yeah, we like to stay with the nature, you know, and I think that is what you'll find over here as well. These are all sustainable material that has been used in the kids' play as well, and it's safe. So it's called the rubberized flooring over here, and pretty much wooden fixtures with some metal supports. Yeah, and I love it. I love the color. You know, it's green too, right?
So Atif, here we are. We're watching the beautiful sunset from your building here, Torino.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you, because something that is very close to your heart is corporate social responsibility, or CSR. You obviously have a very different take on people who build your buildings need to be looked after and protected. Can you tell us more about that?
When I look at the people who are building these beautiful communities, the city, how has their life changed? And it's very important to look at that part, because when you are able to create that micro economy, you are able to make them into consumers. I think you have a bigger economy to deal with and enjoy the benefits from. So I think I'm really, really focused on that. I feel that, you know, it's important to look at the kind of life they are living. We have started few molecular steps in that direction. You know, Heroes of the Site is what we call it. We started June of this year, where we started selecting people who are outperforming at the sites, the workers, and rewarding them. And I think that is a very important subject for me at this point of time. How to see whatever I can best do for the construction workers and the industry, you know, while we're enjoying the growth and the appreciation, it's very important to look at them. They are an integral part of our ecosystem. And I think we all agree that the cities across the globe, not just here, across the globe, the cities, the communities, the real estate, the economies would not exist without them.
Where do you see Oro24 going in the next 5-10 years? What is your ultimate goal and dream for Oro24?
So to answer that question, it's very simple, very straightforward for me. I know what projects I'll be delivering over the next 3 or 5 years' time. I never ever look at a certain number as a benchmark where the company would be. It naturally happens, right? It has to be a situation where we really believe in the project and we continue launching them. We work hard for every project. We make sure that we are coming up with unique concepts and themes in every real estate. We are creating enough reasons for the consumer to come and do the transaction with us, believe in our real estate. And I think we'll continue to transform the industry, is what I can say. I know what we'll be delivering. We have some absolutely exciting projects on the drawing board. We continue to work hard on them. And we have this philosophy at Oro24. We launch the project only when we feel we are confident to put our own dollar on that real estate. So I think we'll continue to disrupt, we'll continue to evolve, and we continue to bring a really flavorful, exciting asset class in the real estate industry.
Atif Rahman, it's been an absolute pleasure talking with you today.
Pleasure as always.
Founder and chairman of Oro24 Developments.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking us through your property here.
Thank you so much. And I can't wait to invite people. By the way, I must tell you, there are over 400 birds who are already residing in Torino.
Well, there you go. That's one reason why you need to move here.
Brilliant. Thank you.